are going away. We're being migrated to cloud-based storage where your data goes in and never can be deleted, where you have no aspect of privacy as you won't even be able to remove the batteries in your phones. The end of this video provides steps you can take to somewhat mitigate the intrusions on your privacy and the extent to which you're being tracked. The other day, I received a very disturbing phone call from my son. He told me that he was driving in his car and having a personal conversation with one of his other buddies. He is in the military, or I should say was. He just got out. But he told me that there's a thing called Google Dashboard where you can check your Google history. And he went on that, and we're going to walk through that in a minute. And what his phone did was it automatically turned the microphone on in the phone and recorded all of these personal conversations. Now, anyone that has a YouTube account, as you're probably all aware, you have to have a Gmail address to sign up for the account. I know at least back when I signed up for my YouTube account, which was back in 2012 or 2013, I tried using my POP email address and it wouldn't take it. I had to actually create a Google email account to create my YouTube account. So any of those of you out there who have a YouTube account, you need to pay attention to this report. And those of you who have a Gmail email account, you also need to pay attention to this report. That includes Google Hangouts and any of the other crowd-sponsored Google sites out there. They're monitoring you too. Now, this doesn't only apply to Windows, but it applies to, as I said before, Android device operating systems as well as your desktop PC if you're running Windows 7 through, I believe, 10. So if you want to check your history on there, just go to the search engine, the browser bar up here, type in Review My Google History, go down here, click on Review Data on your dashboard, and that will bring you to this View Your Data and Account Activity in the Google Dashboard. Then you go down and you click on Visit the Google Dashboard. It may or may not ask you to sign in. It's going to ask me to sign in. We'll do that, and it will bring you to your accounts, your Control, Protect, and Secure Your Account page. Now, under Device Activity and Notifications, all your recently used devices. This is very important. I want you to pay attention to this, okay? Here. It is listing my Windows machine, but it's in Buckeye, Arizona, and we'll get to that. I don't live in Buckeye, Arizona. It has my Galaxy Samsung mobile phone, which operates on Android, has my Galaxy tablet, and my Galaxy Note 2. Now here's something very interesting. It is not picking up my laptop. My laptop, which is on the same network I'm on right now making this report, is running Linux. So this is not capturing anything running on Linux operating systems. Now, although we're just talking about Google, Windows, and Android right now, I am quite sure that Apple and iOS has the same type of data collection and identification platform that Google is using for Windows and Android. Now, when I first logged on under my dashboard and went to my device information, it showed that I was logged on in Phoenix from my desktop, here, Windows, right here. After I went back during the making of this video, it indicated I was now logged on from Buckeye, Arizona. I don't live in Buckeye, Arizona. So what I did was I copied this address and went to this website called WebRoot Bright Cloud, typed in the IP address for the lookup to see who owns that IP address, and it gave me the following information. Now, here under suspicious, it says that these are suspicious sites. There is a higher than average probability that they will be exposed to malicious links or payload overloads. And those are exactly the problems I'm having with my browser, especially with Firefox. And I've been having them for a while. I don't live in the best area for high-speed internet connectivity. As a matter of fact, high speed out here is considered 8 meg. So I copied that IP address and pasted it in the search bar on my browser and went to this website You can see how dog slow my browser is. And went down the list to search for this particular IP address. Clicked on it, and it indicates that the IP address belongs to Quest Communications. My internet is not provided by Quest. And if you look over here on your timeline history, it shows every place you've been. And if you click here, see your most visited places, all the places you've been based on your location history, it shows where you went, how many times you went there, or how many different days you went there. I mean, this is incredible. Look at this. It shows doctor's appointments. It shows places you went to go eat or have a drink. I mean, how many times you've been there. The first date it was recorded in your timeline. Again, doctor's appointments. Now, if you go and click on a specific date, check this out. It shows you how much time you spent while on the trip driving. It shows that I drove from the house to Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, where I then took a plane to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and picked up a car, and how much time I was in the car. Now, if you go log on to your personal dashboard here at Google, then you click on expand all. I already clicked it, so it says collapse all there. It tells you all of the accounts it's trolling. Any place you've ever been. Look at my Android account for both of my phones here. It's got the date it was backed up, the time, the size of the backup, the files that were back. Look at this. All of this information. It's got my, this is my other phone and my old phone. So it even has history in here from phones you don't even have anymore. And this audio button here, I have it enabled just for, the purposes of showing you this. But if you click on the manage button here and your mic has been remotely activated, you're going to see my mic is shut off on my phone. Everywhere that, I have recording capabilities, it must manually be turned on. I don't use Cortana. I don't use the Verizon voice search. I don't use any of that stuff. I've never even set it up. So, I have nothing here, but people who have set these features up and their mic is turned on, they're going to see a whole list of recording dates down here where they can click on the date and it will play the audio file that it picked up and sent up to the cloud, and it's being stored there. And Google wants you to believe, anyway, that you can go and, let's see, where is it? This thing is the delete options, for those files. Well, I got news for you. You can delete it from your dashboard, but those cloud data repositories are kind of like the NCIS, criminal information systems, where they're add-only databases. You can't take anything out of that cloud once it's been recorded, and you can see it on your dashboard. And in many cases, even if you can't see it on your dashboard, it's still on the cloud. So going back to my dashboard, and again, this is going to be sparse compared to what a lot of people are going to see, because I have everything on my mobile devices, turned off as far as automation, backup, syncing, all that stuff is turned off on my phones. It's probably being put up in a cloud somewhere somehow, but it's not showing up on the Google dashboard. It's got my blogs. It has any books I've purchased online, brand accounts. I don't know what the heck that is. It's got my calendar events, personal information that I put on my calendar, activity in the last 28 days, how many passwords I have. And, I've been telling people over and over again, don't invite me to Google Plus circles and that, but somehow I have 12 contacts in there. I don't know where they came from. It has all 3,415 of my email conversations up in the cloud from various different email service providers. And location history, we just went through that nightmare. It's got any news sources that I subscribe or stream from. It's going to have them listed there. I don't. So there's nothing on here. It's got my payments and purchase information from credit cards with what credit card I used. Now, this photo album here thing, when I bought my new phone back in November of last year, I went in the cloud and deleted everything that my old account had sent up there from my old phone. I'm still using the same service provider carrier, Verizon, but I went in and manually deleted everything that was up in that photos cloud up there. So when I got my new phone, look at this, 147 photos are up there. Now, even though I canceled my online backup, my syncing for all my pictures and my videos. I canceled it, turned it off, shut it off. Any photo I took, any video I recorded is still up there. It's still, now I'm going to have to go back and delete them again, but that's kind of an exercise in futility anyway, because although you're deleting them, from your dashboard profile, they're still up there in the cloud. Music I've downloaded, applications I've downloaded, my profile information, my whole search history is on here. And again, oh, don't worry, it gives you the option to remove your search history items. Yeah, but only from your dashboard. All this information is still up there. Oh man, everything I've searched on the internet for the recent reports I've done has my top query questions outlined in here. Talk about invasion of privacy. I don't use Google Talk. My YouTube history is in here. I mean, holy smoke. And here, if you go under review my devices, which was on the previous screen, I apologize, but you'll find it. It's over here on the sidebar menu here. It shows all of the devices I connected with, when I connected to them. And this particular feature here, lost this device, this will track your location if your phone is with you. Gives the model number of the phone, everything. Your phone number's on here, everything. One thing that I want to point out, though, sitting right next to me, I have my laptop, which is running Linux. And of course, I understand that this is Windows and Android specifically, but it's Google that's collecting the data. My laptop device, even though it's plugged into the very network I'm online with right now, is not showing the laptop. And when I did a web search for the same search I did to Google Track My History Linux, I came up with, command lines, but those are all, track your command lines, track command activity, but those are directly from your device. I could not find anything in a search where Linux is uploading and tracking all of your personal information like Google is doing on the Windows and Android devices. And if anybody out there knows different, please let me know, let everybody know. Now, the best thing I can advise you to do to stop being tracked to some degree is to go to your personal info and privacy. Now, some of this I'm not going to show you because it contains very personal information that I really don't want to project to everybody out there, but it has your address, your telephone numbers, all of your email addresses, your personal email addresses, your business email addresses, your Google accounts, everything is in here. Your age, if you've got a profile anywhere about you, those profiles are listed there. Users you've blocked. I mean, boy, this is incredible. Anyway, so getting back to what you can do is under your searches and browsing activity, turn that off. Places you go, turn it off. Information from your devices, turn it off. I would turn all of these off, and especially this one here. This particular little feature here can activate your microphone remotely and record conversations that you don't know are being recorded. Do not use Windows Cortana or the Android voice search and voice commands. They're printing your voice when you do this, and they're creating a digital file of your voice prints that are also being stored up in the cloud, so turn that off. Unless you want everybody to know the videos that you search for on YouTube, as far as I'm concerned, that's none of anybody's business. I would turn that off. Every single one of these. I believe my ad settings are already turned off. Yeah, but that doesn't prevent them from, stuff in the tube in my emails and my search browsers with advertisements. And like I said, down here, there's an option to delete your account or services. Doesn't matter if you delete them, whatever they've already collected, they have, and you're not going to be able to delete that. In conclusion, this is too much information being centralized on each of us. Centralization means more power and control in the hands of those doing the centralizing and less freedom and privacy for everyone else. The days of removable data storage and batteries are going away. We're being migrated to cloud-based storage where your data goes in and never can be deleted, where you have no aspect of privacy as you won't even be able to remove the batteries in your phones. The end of this video provides steps you can take to somewhat mitigate the intrusions on your privacy and the extent to which you're being tracked. The other day, I received a very disturbing phone call from my son. He told me that he was driving in his car and having a personal conversation with one of his other buddies. He is in the military, or I should say was, he just got out. But he told me that there's a thing called Google Dashboard where you can check your Google history. And he went on that, and we're going to walk through that in a minute. And what his phone did was it automatically turned the microphone on in the phone and recorded all of these personal conversations. Now, anyone that has a YouTube account, as you're probably all aware, you have to have a Gmail address to sign up for the account. I know at least back when I signed up for my YouTube account, which was back in 2012 or 2013, I tried using my POP email address and it wouldn't take it. I had to actually create a Google email account to create my YouTube account. So any of those of you out there who have a YouTube account, you need to pay attention to this report. And those of you who have a Gmail email account, you also need to pay attention to this report. That includes Google Hangouts and any of the other crowd-sponsored Google sites out there. They're monitoring you too. Now, this doesn't only apply to Windows, but it applies to, as I said before, Android device operating systems as well as your desktop PC if you're running Windows.